history makers for Hartford and Indy, and we only have 2 teams left unbeaten. Welcome to All Talk, All USL. Talk USL, come on latest scores, news, and developments in the second highest division, the United States men's professional soccer system. The USL Championship. I'm your host, as always, Vince Galvano. Happy Monday, April 13, 2026, episode 84, episode 7 of season 3 of Talk USL. Talk All USL, everywhere podcasts are available. And everyone on social media platforms at Talk USL. You know what the deal is. If you want to support the podcast, make sure to give a review on whatever platform you're using to listen. I want to shout out one of the reviewers that I just kind of came back to recently. I saw it on Apple Podcasts, so I'm going to read your review. Thank you so much for that. But we got a lot to talk about first and foremost. History makers for Hartford and Indy. I'm talking the good kind of history. Hartford, Player of the Month. We got to talk about first time ever. Who is it? Indy, leading goal scorer of all time for the franchise. It's an easy one, but yeah, we're going to talk about that. Let's talk about Orange County too. Back-to-back MacWinnon. MacKinnon just killing it at the moment for the team, and Brooklyn winning big. Much more clear winners and clear losers this time around. Last week we talked about just stalemates all around after what was the latest round of the U.S. Open Cup. Maybe teams kind of coming back into the swing of things, just playing for the ties. But we've had much more clear winners in match day 6 of the USL Championship. And we only have 2 teams left unbeaten, one in the East, one in the West. We'll get to both those teams, especially one in the West, who's just running on all fronts at the moment. Tampa's the other team in the East. I'm just going to spoil it. Tampa's the one in the East, but they had a draw this past weekend. We'll get into all the matches and then some. We'll talk player of the week, goal of the week as well, player of the month, excuse me. So much more to get into. If you're loving the show, you know where to find us, everywhere podcasts are available. But shout out, I saw it on the Apple reviews, on Apple Podcasts, from Juan Serrano. Juan, thank you so much for writing about the show, giving it 5 stars. Really appreciate it. He says, great podcast about the USL. Vince Galvano offers a very concise and entertaining review of the past week's matches, keeps me up to date with the league on a weekly basis. I can tell in his voice that he is a dedicated and passionate fan of the league, and I appreciate that. Keep up the good work. Hey, keep up the nice reviews and nice words. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias, Juan. Really appreciate the words of motivation. We can always use it sometimes, especially when, sometimes I have I have to record versus getting to record, that sort of mindset. And with words like that, it's always, I get to record. I don't have to record, I get to record and talk about some just fantastic soccer ongoing at the moment in the United States of America. Next week, just an FYI, I'm not sure when the episode will be out. Possibly it might be a Tuesday episode or a late Monday episode. And I have a good reason for my excuse for next week. I am on the road. I'm heading down to Torino, Italy. Going to be for the first time ever watching my favorite team play live in the stadium. I've been a Juventus fan for as far as I can remember. So for the first time, as a birthday gift, an anniversary gift, going with the girlfriend, we'll be heading down there. Going to be watching Juventus against Bologna. So I will be traveling. We'll try to get the pod out as soon as possible. Post-weekend, I'll be coming back on that Monday, so I'll be doing the notes probably on the road and so forth, and the laptop, bring it with me, and record when I'm back. Just an FYI. Very excited. I'm happy to recount that, but that's just, a little bit about Vince Galvano and the team he supports. For the USL, I support the USL, and let's get into what I support. Good stories, good performances, good teams, and the whole 9. Starting first, player of the month of March, sealing the deal. We had 4 to choose from. We actually had a tie for the first time, and God knows how long. I've never seen this before. There was a vote tie between Rubio Ruben of El Paso and Anthony Sia of Hartford, but the fan vote is the one that tilted it. It was the tiebreaker. Which is just, you love to see it sometimes. So shout out to all the fans, especially for the Hartford fans, for getting your guy over, because Anthony Sia is the first ever Hartford Athletic player in history to win Player of the Month. A huge milestone for the club. It is well deserved. The 27-year-old has become what we can say a rising star in the championship's goalkeeping ranks since making his debut for Monterey Bay midway through that 2022 season. Since the start of the 2023 season, Anthony Siaha, the goalkeeper for Hartford, player of the month of March, ranks second to only Sacramento Republic's Danny Vitiello with 248 saves in the regular season. We're talking 16 saves across 4 games this past month, 2 clean sheets, and 84% save percentage. But the stat that really jumps out, a negative 4.1 goals prevented mark, which basically tells you he's saving more than what the average keeper would be expected to. And then there's the statement performance, 10 saves in a single matchup against Brooklyn, tied for the most in a match so far this season. That's the kind of outing that wins you this award. But what I like most here, this isn't just empty numbers. Hartford went undefeated in March, and Siaha was a massive reason why. Credit to him. He came out, basically said, this isn't about me, it's about the defense in front of me. Classic goalkeeper answer, maybe. But also true. Hartford, organized, disciplined, tough to break down. Didn't happen this past weekend against El Paso, but we'll cover that. But quick shout out as well. I mean, it wasn't a runaway, right? He actually tied in the voting with Rubio Rubin, who had a phenomenal month for El Paso as well. 2 other players on the fold was Jansen Wilson from Lou City. He had 19% of that total vote afterwards. And then you also had Arnie Rocha from Miami with 8% of the votes. So congrats to Siaha, player of the month for March. Well-deserved for sure. Goal of the week we'll talk about. We had a couple contenders here. Charleston, El Paso, Tampa, and Sacramento, starting with Charleston. Lauren Casadu against Lou City on April 4th. The Cote d'Ivoire midfielder struck home an outstanding volley off of Jeremy Kelly's cross to give the Battery that lead on the road against Lou City. Was a very important goal that was. Amando Moreno we had for El Paso. The El Salvador International produced a clever run in behind to break into Robert Coronado's pass before creating a shooting angle, firing home early against Las Vegas in that game. You have Evan Conway, former North Carolina player, against Jacksonville in the Derby of Florida. The offseason rival notched a dramatic late-game winner in Jacksonville. A nice header off Charlie Ostrom's precise cross to keep the Rowdies' perfect start to the season. Very important. Blake Willie was the other one for Sacramento. The 18-year-old walked away with 43% of the vote in this one, so he is your winner. In that match against Phoenix on April 4th, the 18-year-old homegrown product scored his first professional goal with a smartly taken finish after angling his run to the left side of the box that provided a passing lane for Foster Ajago's cut back cross, and Sacramento came out in droves to support him in his cause to really make that goal just not only memorable for the fact that it's your first, but also goal of the week for week 5. Orange County taking on San Antonio. We have to talk about OC and their back-to-back wins, and the fact that they were spoiling midweek matchup here. This published on April 9 under USL OC news release for Orange County. They defeated San Antonio 2-0 in a commanding performance at home at Championship Stadium for non-profit night. After this win, the Orange Blacks sit atop of the Western Conference. They stay there, by the way, 3rd overall in the USL Championships. But first big chance came in the 8th minute. Lyam MacKinnon, the man of the hour right now for Orange County, took a shot from outside the box to the center of the net. However, goalkeeper Batruni for San Antonio stopped the shot before it's found its success, but MacKinnon returned for redemption just 3 minutes later in the opening 15 with a left-footed shot that swept past Batruni and into the net, opening the score sheet and ending San Antonio's 4-game shutout streak. In the 34th minute, Chris Hagard carried the ball to the center of the box for a shot, so Batruni swatted the ball to Bazzini, who finished the goal with precision in the lower right corner, extending the lead and keeping the County boys' fire alive. The match ended after 4 minutes of extra time with OC sealing the win, giving San Antonio their first loss of the USL Championship season, ending that 6-game unbeaten streak for San Antonio. Orange County only finished with 36% of possession the night, but they did take 14 shots with 6 on target, while San Antonio had 13 shots, 4 on goal. MacKinnon obviously earning the man of the match title for his opening goal, while Rando secured his 3rd shutout of the season. Orange County celebrating Gnarly's birthday on April 18th when OC takes on Lexington. We'll talk more about that match too, but great to see from the fact that Orange County making it count at home in front of their spectators at Championship Stadium. The other match that just kind of took place, I think it was the Friday, was a tremendous 6-goal thriller in Leesburg, Virginia. Loudoun United and Louisville City playing to a 3-3 draw at Segra Field. United takes first league point from Louisville since 2019. In this one, they took an early lead on a good tic-tac-toe build-up that set up Richie Aman in motion through the midfield and his pass to the top right edge. The penalty area set up none other than the man of the hour for Loudon. Ulfarsson, Thor swinging his hammer, big time for a thunderous first time strike to the top left corner. Lou City, though, they responded with 2 goals in 6 minutes. 17-year-old Brandon Diaz beginning the rally with a headed finish off of a corner kick by Taylor Davila. And then Shawunmi then put the visitors ahead as he controlled and shot home a turning finish to the left corner 16 yards after United was unable to clear its line after Diaz's long pass was headed into the center of the box by Sam Galito. Loudon hit back shortly just before halftime when a clever piece of interplay for the left side saw James Murphy set up Ulfarsson for his second of the night, scores a brace, and United then regained the lead just past the hour mark when Murphy's back post header off of a corner from the left by Marco Diaz set up Akinyode for a close range finish. Louisville leveling the game with 16 minutes to go as Evan Davila scored his first goal of the season off a cross from Manny Perez from the right side. Both sides had opportunities late on to find a winner, but honors ended even as Loudon earned its first league point, like I said, against Louisville since the 2019 season. Some takeaways from this one on USLChampionship.com. Loudon United put together a strong attacking display led by Thorlefor. Ulfarsson, I think he's Icelandic, right, Ulfarsson? Yeah. The Icelandic superhero himself. 2 goals, continuing to prove susceptible defensively as Louisville rallied twice after those taking the lead. Loudon has now faced a league-high 36 shots on target in 5 games as it continues to look for its first league win of the season. Lou City, meanwhile, rotated the lineup. Simon Bird made 5 changes from the side that fell to Charleston last time out, but had to rally to earn a point as the visitors allowed a season-high 13 shots and conceded 3 goals in a regular season game for the first time since August 31st, 2024. I think also you have to configure the fact that, of those changes, Louisville's Brandon Diaz becoming the second youngest goal scorer in club history, bagging his first professional goal aged 17 years, 114 days old. But the Icelandic forward, Ulfarsson for Loudon, scoring twice to move to 4 goals in 5 appearances this season with a pair of excellent finishes, while ending the night 3 shots on target, completing 17 of 22 passes. A complete performance, certainly, from the forward, but solid point there for Loudon. Hopefully they can build some momentum, and Louisville, maybe some warning signs, but also a lot of positive signs, right? The rotation paid off. You had some young goal scorers in there. And yeah, competition within the club, it's always helpful. Talking about competition in the club, let's talk about competition for the starting spot at the striker position for Tulsa, because they had to fix a hole. From the Toronto newsletter by Nicholas Murray, the official USL newsletter, talked about, especially this past week, a couple of things with regards to Tulsa. And in particular, talking about Spencer electing to use Khalil Ahmedkar as his regular number 9 in league play. We know that they've had trouble fixing the hole left by Taylor Calhera, the fact that he left Tulsa in the offseason to go on for brighter pastures, hopefully in the MLS. But the fact is, Ahmedkar at the moment leading the team with 7 shots and a 1.030 expected goals mark, but other numbers have trended down from seasons past when he was used effectively both in Tulsa season ago and at Loudon as a left-sided winger. So Ahmedkar has not been alone in terms of low attacking input. Not only has Tulsa only scored 4 goals in his 4 league outings, it ranks 22 in the league with a 4.71 expected goals mark or a 1.18 expected goals per game mark. Other numbers also are below league average too. The side posting below 40% shooting accuracy rate, only 3.25 shots on target per game, with the only left-sided wingback Owen Dam having multiple goal contributions on the season. There are other options in Spencer's disposal to serve that number 9. Among them is former Phoenix Rising forward himself, Remy Cabral, who joined the club in the offseason, provided the game winner in the U.S. Open Cup for the Scissor Tails last week against San Antonio that earned the side the visit to St. Louis City of MLS in the round of 32. We're going to talk all U.S. Open Cup, by the way, later on. We'll preview the games, but if you want more on the Open Cup, just take a look at the last episode for Talk USL. But then you also have Vancouver Whitecaps FC loanee Nelson Pierre, who has only seen 51 minutes of league action so far this season, but recorded 13 goals, 3 assists for the Whitecaps in MLS Next Pro a season ago, while serving as the side's central striker. So It's a bit like they're playing a one-striker system at the moment, 3-4-3 setup, and rightfully so because their strength, Tulsa, is Harvey St. Clair on the right. He's fit. Owen Dam on the left, really up the flanks, cycling the ball, top of the box, putting in service. I think they're one of the best teams in the USL to do so in that. So Remy Cabral coming on as a sub here. Khalil Ahmedkar getting the start, so Spencer will stick with him there. Tulsa taking on an OC side at One Oak Field this past Saturday. An OC side that we just talked about, right? In fact, they spoiled San Antonio's perfect start. Well, can they spoil the defending Western Conference in this one? And they get the job done. Yeah, second half against the run of play. OC capitalizing on a loose ball in the box. And who is it? Lyam MacKinnon, making no mistake, slotting home the decisive goal in the 55th minute. Back-to-back games where he's the goal-scoring winner. Tulsa did push hard late for a response, and then he found it late when a header off a corner kick hit a crossbar after a save from Rando in stoppage time, deflected off Rando, hit the crossbar, and then a shot from Harvey St. Clair hit the outside left post from a shot across the box in the 89th minutes. Despite dominance in spells, they were left empty-handed. Tulsa did control 65% of the ball, but couldn't convert the chances, and obviously a clinical moment from OC against the run-of-play goal. Momentum shifted instantly after the opener, and then the end of a historic streak as well. Tulsa's long home unbeaten run coming to an end in this one, and Lyam MacKinnon is the man of the moment for OC, the match winner, showing composer back-to-back games, like I mentioned. But Tulsa looked really solid. I mean, Harvey St. Clair, always effective. Quite a consistent performer on the right-hand flank. Bailey Sparks, active in the first half. He helped drive Tulsa's attacking pressure. But ROC were also very, very solid, organized. Kept it compact, especially playing a low block. I think, if you ask the question, is Tulsa's attack a concern or just bad luck? It's a long season. We're just touching the middle of April at the moment. So right now, obviously, there's a lot to be frustrated about, but it's not a crisis. The underlying play is there. 65% possession, multiple chances created in this one. I mean, multiple first half chances, hitting the post late as well. I don't think you have a standout performer like Calhera this season for Tulsa, but goals will have to maybe spread out. Obviously, there's talk of who should lead the line, as mentioned in the Rondo, whether it should be Cabral, whether it should be Pierre, whether it should be Ahmedkar, whether they should switch to a two-striker system or just kind of rotate those three and see what happens, who comes out on top, who's more consistent, and then give them the minutes to show it, right? But I think they can just be a bit more braggadocious. If they manage to pin teams back, especially when it's all level, right? Using the fact of, hey, we are the best team in the West at the moment, right? We have, the stats to show it, especially from last season. They do such a great job using both swings to recycle. They cause trouble. The service in the box from throw-ins, from corners, from early crosses, it's all there. Watch the rest defense. Also, just break up play a little bit more. It could be a bit choppy, and then use it to your advantage, right? Use the direct play to your advantage, and then just take it from there. I think nothing to be concerned yet, but we'll see what happens. Keep an eye out on the forward situation there. All right, moving on to Detroit taking on Sporting Jacks. Darren Smith just leading the goal-scoring race at the moment in the USL, and he's at the right place, right time. Early strike, total control. Detroit City handling business at Keyword Stadium. They wasted no time in asserting control. They grabbed an early lead in the 6 minutes and then just never looked back. 7 minutes in, pretty much it was Darren Smith pouncing on a rebound off of a corner on the goal line to give LaRouge the advantage. Off of a corner, it was really nice play, solid, just pack the 6-yard box, see what happens. Falls nicely to him after I think a shot deflected, and that was it. That was it. That's all he needed. Match winner of the Poachers finished, capitalizing on the early pressure, now leading the Golden Boot race with 5 goals to the good. Sporting Jacks, in the meanwhile, still searching for their first win as a franchise, and things don't get any easier as they take on defending Players' Shield winners, Lou City, next. We talked about a little bit of the holes, right? The fact that Lou City hasn't conceded this many goals in a matchup since August 31st, 2024. A lot of shots on target they conceded against Loudoun. So it's like, okay, let's make sure we're on it because we could get embarrassed right now real quick if Sporting Jacks finds their rhythm for the first time this season against us. that's going to be a very interesting game to take place in soon for next week's matchups. Brooklyn taking on Charleston. Battery and Brooklyn are back to winning ways at home. Maimonides Park, right by Coney Island in Brooklyn. Charleston did come out early with intent on the road, nearly striking first through a free header, but just couldn't convert. The missed opportunity proving costly almost immediately. Brooklyn capitalizing on their first real opening. Jaden Cervania firing home from the top of the box through traffic to open the scoring. From there, the match slowed. Both sides struggled to generate some clear chances for a stretch before Brooklyn broke through. Stefan Stojanovic doubling the lead with a sharp finish from distance to put the hosts firmly in control heading into halftime. The former FC Tulsa man doubling that lead, and out of the break, Brooklyn stayed clinical. Well-timed run behind the high line saw Marcus Anderson get on the end of a through ball and finish calmly just past the hour mark. Might have been offside, to be quite honest, but didn't matter anyway. Charleston didn't put any goals on the board. Clinical versus wasteful. I think Brooklyn converted key moments. Charleston couldn't capitalize early. And early control from Brooklyn at home. It's a difficult place. It seems like a tight field out there at Maimonides Park. Also, in fact, get the baseball blending in a little bit from the outfield. It's always interesting to see which teams in the USL have a baseball field that they play on in the outfield. Talking New Mexico, talking El Paso, I think, right? So it's like, it always can be used to advantage, especially at home. Other teams aren't used to it. Transition vulnerability for Charleston as well. Defensive gaps. Marcus Anderson, though, man of the match. He looked really good. 1 goal, 2 assists on the night. CJ Olney was also a key contributor in the build-up and assist for the 3rd goal, showing that strong vision, opting to try to break the lines, and came out to be success. Miguel Berry, though, Charleston, one of Charleston's brighter spots, forcing multiple saves, but unable to convert on the night. Was this a dominant performance from Brooklyn or a missed opportunity for Charleston? Maybe perhaps both, I'd say. I think the difference, you punish mistakes, and that's controlling game, winning one. Brooklyn showed exactly how to do the latter in this one. 10 shots, 9 chances created, 42 passes, and on the attacking third for Brooklyn, looking good at home. Charleston the night did have 13 shots, but only 4 of them finding the target. Charleston had coach Ben Pierman off of that 100 win recently. Didn't shy away from reality. His side was punished in key moments. He pointed, and post-match conference-wise, talking about defensive struggles and transition, inability to make the big plays, emphasizing that performances mean little if you concede at critical times. He also made it clear that there were no excuses, giving full credit to Brooklyn for executing when it mattered most. And I think that is the case. Sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and sometimes a team just comes out clinical. And Brooklyn were clinical in this matchup, 2,700 in attendance at Brooklyn for witnessing their 2nd victory as a franchise in the championship. Let's talk Hartford and El Paso. We talked about Anthony Siaha winning the Player of the Month, but this one didn't have the best of performances, especially that rebound goal at the end for El Paso. El Paso, one of the only teams still undefeated. The only team undefeated left in the West, I should say. One of 2 teams still undefeated. And man, oh man, did they just have a great time at Trinity Health Stadium on the road in this one. I mean, Hartford coming into this one unbeaten, looking confident at home, but just things unraveled quickly and momentum started to push, and everybody on the board for El Paso. 4 different scores in this one in a 4-0 victory. Started first with a long pass in the midfield, opened the door early. Eric Calvillo stepping in to punish it. His long-range effort taking a wicked little deflection, sneaking into the bottom right corner to give El Paso the lead, and then just set the tone from there. The visitors kept the foot on the gas. Minutes later, driving run into the box by Armando Moreno on the far right side. Beats the defender. As he approaches the box, just waits a little bit for the contact from behind, goes down, and referee points to the spot. Tony Alfaro steps up, shoots it left, and boom, just like that, 2-0 for El Paso. The pressure didn't let off. Off the set piece, Hartford failed to clear their lines. I think it was a corner kick. And Diego Abitia, quickest to react. Ball came back in, dropped in, touches it down with the top of his stud to the right side, and half volleys it, lasers it into the net. 3 before halftime, and El Paso are running on all fronts. Eric Calvila kissing the badge when he celebrated. I think Diego Abitia, I don't know why, but El Paso players all got on their knees, did a little bit of a prayer. I mean, just a lot of unity. It's a lot of fun at the moment playing in El Paso, I can tell you that. They love the goals, right place, right time for him. And second half, just things go from bad to worse for Hartford. And it is a fourth midway through the second half. Gabby Torres following up a shot saved from Siaha. It was a shot on Moreno. Not the best of shots, but, Siaha, right place, right time, puts a right hand onto it, but just right in the path of Gabby Torres. He reacts the quickest. And just like that, it's a ruthless performance. 4 goals, 4 different scores, 3 goals inside 35 minutes from El Paso. Hartford's defense collapses in this one. A statement win, a 4th straight victory, and a performance that signals real momentum. Tony Alfaro, by the way, it's not just the midfield and the forwards. It's everyone in El Paso. Alfaro, leader at the back and on the ball, scored from the spot, completed 58 of 62 passes, added 11 recoveries in the night. Gabby Torres had a nice performance. Amanda Moreno, constant threat, getting on the ball, taking on players, being creative, heavily involved in the attacking duel. So I think El Paso in the moment emerging as a true contender in the West. Set pieces, different goal scorers. Everyone wants goals. Defensive control of the game. And that's it. That's all you need. Head coach Brendan Burke, after the game for Hartford's side, only had 2 shots in the first half and the unbeaten run ending after 5 games. He said energy was wrong. We got everything wrong. Tactically, we got it wrong as staff. We couldn't have done more wrong tonight if we tried. He also pointed to basic execution errors that hurt them throughout the night. We were passing balls straight out of bounds from 7 yards away. They took every opportunity, El Paso, they had really, and we gave them plenty of opportunity because we were just bad on both sides of the ball. And importantly, he did make sure to credit the opponent. He did say, end quote, that El Paso played well. They took every opportunity they had. So pretty rare to hear sometimes level of honesty, but it tells you exactly how far off Hartford felt in this one. Thanks. Shout out to USLChampions.com staff and the Blazing Musket for the coverage there. Serving as the inspiration. Indy 11 taking on Monterey Bay. We talked about history makers, Anthony Siaha being one for Hartford. The other one, Jack Blake, making history in a 3-1 victory for Indy 11 against Monterey Bay at Michael A. Carroll Stadium. He etches his name in Indy 11's history as the all-time leading scorer. That's right, we'll talk about this one. The host striking first through Bruno Rendon in the 13th minute, finishing off a perfectly weighted ball through the center of the field by Cam Lindley. It was to play that really nice ball through. That carried the lead into the second half. Monterey Bay briefly threatened to flip the script early. The super sub Wesley Leggett coming on, taking the ball at the top of the box, hitting it on the turn to beat Eric Dick on the near post. Not often you see that. But then Indy just responded immediately. After that, 5 minutes later, Jack Blake pouncing on a rebound just 4 minutes later to restore the lead before Loic Menzavi would seal the result with a composed one-on-one finish to beat Delgado to cap off a clinical second half surge. And immediate response mentality, the danger of the 5-minute rule. As soon as you score a goal or concede, or excuse me, as soon as you score a goal, you are the most vulnerable 5 minutes afterwards. College assistant coach told me that, and since then a lot of things point out to it. But player performances wise, the headline act: Jack Blake, game-winning goal, 28th all-time for the club, plus a complete midfield display as he typically does on a consistent basis. 29 out of 35 passes completed, 8 out of 11 duels won, 7 recoveries on the night for him. And congratulations to Jack Blake. You are Indy's all-time leading scorer with 28 goals to the good right there. A tremendous player, and it's going to go down in the history books as one of the greats for Indy 11. 3 goals to the good, 3 points. We always like to say it, especially since it usually takes place. Talking Brooklyn, right? They got a 3-0 victory. It didn't happen though with Loudoun and Lou City, 3-3. Probably the best game of all weekend. But it did happen with Rhode Island, 3-1 on the road at Lexington Sporting Club Stadium. Rhode Island came out flying, immediately put Lexington under pressure. You want to talk about momentum? Rhode Island just took it here. Alder Sanchez winning the ball in the midfield, driving forward, and is certainly my pick for the goal of the week in this past match week for match week 6. It was amazing. Just the fact that he got momentum, he kept carrying that ball forward, and then just rocketing that shot at top left corner. And then minutes later, Jose Quizera gets in the ball from the right. J.G. Williams finds him. He cuts in, he fires it, and the shot keeper, he's right there, just doesn't, his hands weren't ready. Oliver Assembly just couldn't get in a good position. He wasn't in a good position. It's just that he couldn't get his hands on it to stop. It was a weak parry and goes past him, and then boom, just like that, Rhode Island doubling the lead before the half-hour mark. Minutes later, a similar position. This time it's J.J. Williams, really on the corner edge of the 6-yard box. Oliver Assembly's there, and J.J. Williams rips the shot straight off the face of Oliver Assembly. Takes it off the face to make the save. Really good, redemption there for him after what had just occurred with Quizera. But Rhode Island put the game to bed in the 68th minute. Leo Alfonso finishing off a quick attacking sequence with a composed strike in the bottom corner. J.J. Williams playing outstanding in this match. Physical presence, bodying up, as a lone striker, occupying the back line for Lexington. Right place, right time, just contributing as he should to each of the attacking plays. This one laying the ball off nicely off the chest. Everything right. Leo Alfonso, the Brazilian, scoring his first goal, a 24-year-old. His first goal for Rhode Island after transferring over in the offseason from the second team of Atlanta United. So props to him. He's been solid so far this season. 1 goal, 1 assist from 430 minutes played. 5 matches, 5 started. Is in the 95% percentile when it comes to shot attempts for forwards in the league. So props to him. Sealing the deal for this one. 3 goals to the good. 3 points for Rhode Island. Lexington did get a little bit of a consolation prize through Jacob Green, following by a breakaway in which Philip Goodman could capitalize on, since Koke Vegas made a great one-on-one save. Too little, too late. Rhode Island comfortably saw the result. Green gets on the board for Lexington, but not enough. And just like that, Rhode Island getting a win on the road in Kentucky. Their first win of the season. We should mention as well. Tampa Bay Rowdies taking on Oakland. Tampa, the other team, still undefeated. Tampa Bay Rowdies' Dominic Casciato was voted the USL Championship Coach of the Month for March after leading the side to a perfect 3-0 record to start the season. Early fireworks in this one, but no winner in the thriller. This one did explode into life, though, when Tampa Bay wasted no time asserting themselves. Just minutes in, Marco Micheletto reacted quickest to a rebound in the box to give the host an early lead. Oakland didn't take too long to respond. A dangerous ball into the area forced a defensive error and a misjudged clearance that resulted in an own goal by Charlie Ostrom, bringing the visitors level and setting the early chaos. Just as the first half looked set to end, Tampa Bay struck again. A well-worked move down the right found Russell Cicerone, who smashed home from close range right before halftime to restore the Rowdies' advantage. But once again, Oakland had an answer. Early in the second half, a quick counterattack released Wolfgang Prentice, who calmly lifted the ball over the on-Russian keeper to make it level once more. From there, both sides traded chances in a high-quality back-and-forth contest, but neither could find the decisive goal. 2-2 it ends in Tampa. But Wolfgang Prentice getting his 3rd goal of the season, his 3rd goal in 4 matches after, scoring against New Mexico, scoring against Phoenix. Didn't find the net against OC, but finding it here in this one against Tampa Bay Rowdies. Now 3 goals, leading the charge for Oakland so far this season. Tampa did have 5 shots on target from 12 overall in this one. Oakland Roots only finding the target twice out of 9 shots. What the manager said, Tampa Bay head coach Dominic Casciato reflected on missed moments, saying, and quote, "I think if we were switched on in a few little moments, then we leave here with 3 points without being at our best. There's a lot of lessons to learn from it." Also, he said, in terms of the overall performance balance, "I don't think we quite did enough to create enough big chances to say we definitely should have won the game. I think we let ourselves down in 2 moments in particular." So maybe a missed opportunity for Tampa Bay, or maybe a statement from Oakland. It's a bit of both. Going on the road against an unbeaten side, responding twice, shows some real growth and belief. For Tampa, though, it's a reminder that fine margins matter. Small defensive lapses cost them 2 points in this one. San Antonio taking on Miami. This one was a 0-0 draw. Miami did show some serious resilience on the road after a 72nd minute red card. Mason Turnbridge was the one that was sent off for Miami. This one from there was all about survival. San Antonio pushed for a winner, but Miami held firm, anchored by Eloy Room. The 37-year-old Curacao international did have 3 saves, a clean sheet, and full command late to preserve the draw under pressure. We should mention that Jorgen Locadia came closest for Miami, rattling the post around the hour mark there, but from that end, just didn't happen for San Antonio. And this one, Alex Crognali was the one who came out with the best of the best for the Mob player review for 8.1, putting up a solid rating there. But a lot of yellow cards, chippy affair in this one as well. And yeah, it's just this. It's a draw. It's a draw for both sides. San Antonio trying to get back to winning ways, but at least they're back to holding that clean sheet that they've been so far doing really well on. Only 3 goals conceded from 7 matches, should mention, for San Antonio. So a really strong defensive display. Obviously, they'll feel that they'll be hard done by, but they have a tough match upcoming next. It's going to be El Paso taking on San Antonio, and that's going to be a doozy for sure. A lot of things to look forward to there, but red card resilience for Miami in this one. Phoenix Rising finally got off the mark in league play with a convincing 3-0 win over New Mexico United, powered by a standout performance from the brace man himself, Isan Sacco. The 28-year-old French forward opened the scoring early from the penalty spot after winning the foul himself, giving Rising a deserved lead heading into halftime, despite a missed second penalty that kept things within reach. The second half did, though, see Phoenix take full control. We should mention the fact that JP Skiers redeemed his earlier miss with a well-taken strike from the top of the box to double lead before turning provider late on, winning the ball high and setting up Sacco for his second of the night as he received the ball, dribbled around Shakes in between the pipes for New Mexico, and got his second goal of the night to get the brace. Dominant 3-0 result to snap New Mexico's winning streak. Despite Chris Shakes obviously saving the second penalty in this one, New Mexico's possession without a punch, 55% of the ball, but almost no threat. Only 7 touches in the opposition box, and Phoenix forcing a lot of turnovers in dangerous areas, pressing high in the final third of their attack, the defensive third of New Mexico. So Sacco on the night, 2 goals, 1 a penalty, 4 shots on target. Solid stuff from him. 3-0 victory, 3 points for Phoenix. Last game to cover, Las Vegas taking on Sacramento, Cashman Field. Evenly matched, points were shared. Early warning signs did come from Las Vegas after some sustained pressure. They found the breakthrough. Aaron Gillen stepping up from a distance, firing a nice, powerful shot that slipped through the goalkeeper's grasp into the net to give the host the lead, beating Vidiello there. It just kind of was a shot through traffic, honestly, as well. It was a nice give and go that it looked like he was going to play, but instead he goes for the shot, bounces a little bit right before the 6. Always difficult for a keeper to react to that, and just found the back of the net. But Sacramento responded immediately. Mark Anthony Kaye found himself in the right place at the right time, deflected shot, finding the back of the net to bring things level just before the half-hour mark. And this one would just end 1-1. Quick response from Sacramento, even though identical possession stats in this one, moments over dominance. I'd say neither side fully controlled the game. But positive signs for Las Vegas. Continued growth, a bit of stronger starts compared to earlier matches. Charlie Lanfear also looked good. He made some key saves to keep Sacramento from finding a late winner. From Sacramento's side, Danny Vidiello, always solid in goal, did include a nice early save to deny Vegas momentum. Kyle Edwards involved in build-up and assists, creating problems in the final third. So 9 shots a night for Las Vegas, 3 shots on target, 9 shots a night for Sacramento, 2 shots on target. Devin Rensing, Las Vegas head coach, highlighted the fight and mentality of the squad, saying, quote, "I challenge my guys to make sure that we defend our stadium, our field, our city." And we did that tonight. The guys fought hard. They fought all the way towards the end there. So there you have it. Just recording on a Sunday here. So Birmingham, Pittsburgh, the last matchup at the moment. Pittsburgh rounds on the road again, taking on Birmingham. This has been a travel-heavy start to the season for the Hounds. 5 of their first 6 matches away from home, so some tough scheduling. But they've handled it pretty well, unbeaten in their last 4, including Open Cup matches, coming off a late draw against Indy. So you obviously, you get to look at Elliot Goldthorpe, Albert Deequist, Sam Bassett. Goldthorpe, who's got 2 goals in his last two games for Pittsburgh defensively. They had to shuffle things a bit due to some injuries. On the other side, Birmingham's still looking for their first win, but don't let that fool you. Their losses have been tight, and they've only scored 4 goals in 4 matches. So a team that's competitive but struggling to finish. Can Pittsburgh grind out another result on the road, or does Birmingham finally break through at home? That's the question, and that we'll be covering that next podcast for sure. But let's just take quickly league table, and we'll talk both matches for the Open Cup and league play to preview on. Lou City still the top of the Eastern Conference, but tied on points with Tampa Bay with 13. Tampa does have a game in hand in third place with 10 points. Detroit And then 3 teams tied on 9 points, Charleston, Hartford, and Miami, but Charleston playing 5 games as opposed to 6 games for Hartford and Miami. 7th place goes to Indy 11 with 8 points. 8th place is Pittsburgh with 7 points, but they'll play Birmingham, we'll see what happens. Brooklyn, at the moment, right below the playoff line with 6 points, 2 wins, 4 losses from their opening 6 contests. Bottom 4 teams in the Eastern Conference are as follows. Rhode Island, despite their first win of the season, they sit with 5 points in 10th place. Loudoun, 3 points from 5 matches played. Birmingham, we'll see what happens against Pittsburgh. They have some of the least amount of matches played so far with only 4 in the entirety of the league. So they only 2 points, 2 draws that had come against Hartford and Loudoun. Sporting Jack still searching for their first win on a 4-game losing streak. In the western side of things, OC are at the top with their back-to-back wins thanks to MacKinnon against San Antonio, against Tulsa. 7 matches played, though. 14 points to the good. El Paso with 5 matches played with 13 points in second place. In third place, San Antonio with 12 points from 7 matches. Fourth place, Sacramento, 9 points from 6 matches. Then fifth place, it's Oakland Roots, 8 points from 5. New Mexico find themselves in 6th place with 6 points. After 5 matches, they're back-to-back wins against Colorado Springs as well as OC. Phoenix Rising do have 6 points to the good. They only have 1 loss this season, 3 draws, and 1 win. The latest win, obviously, coming against New Mexico. They take on Miami next. That should be interesting. Colorado did have a bye this weekend, but they are tied with 5 points. In 8th place, tied with FC Tulsa and Las Vegas, as well as Lexington. Bottom of the Western Conference is Monterey Bay. Do not have any wins at the moment. It's been loss, draw, loss, draw, loss. They'll take on Colorado next. Their draws coming against San Antonio as well as Sacramento. Be interesting to see what happens, but though still 4 teams in the USL without a win: Birmingham, Loudoun, Sporting Jacks, and Monterey Bay. Darren Smith leading the top scorers race with 5 goals to the good. And next week in the USL, this is how things look. On Saturday, April 18th, Charleston hosts Tampa Bay Rowdies, 3 p.m. Eastern. Louisville hosts Sporting Jacks at 5 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Springs Switchbacks will host Monterey Bay at 5 p.m. Eastern. 2 Pacific. Pittsburgh Riverhounds hosting Detroit, 7 p.m. Eastern. Miami hosting Phoenix Rising, 7 p.m. Eastern. 4 Pacific for them. Hartford hosts Loudoun, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, El Paso hosts San Antonio. Definitely a match worth tuning into. An hour later, you have Oakland Roots taking on FC Tulsa in Oakland, California. 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, Orange County hosts Lexington on Saturday, the final game Saturday. The only game on Sunday is Birmingham hosting Indy 11 at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific. And then also the week after, you have Tuesday, April 21st, Brooklyn taking on Sacramento at 7 p.m. Eastern on that Tuesday. Lamar Hunt Open Cup round of 32 is back. The question, I know we're still going on with the USL Players Association and the USL collective bargaining agreement. It has reached the Open Cup in regards to the stand up for standards, the minute of silence across country, players showing up with that one clear purpose. Do you stand with players in a fight for professional standards or not? 60 seconds where things have not been left unplayed. Let's see if it happens against MLS side. This is the big question. Tuesday, April 14th, mark your calendars. New England Revolution will take on Rhode Island FC in the Northeastern Clash. So that should be interesting on Paramount Plus. All these games on Paramount Plus, by the way, I should mention. Some on CBS Sports Network. Lou City takes on Austin FC at 7 p.m. Eastern on April 14, Tuesday. Troy takes on Chicago at 7:30 Eastern p.m. Also on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Westchester SC takes on New York City FC. That's Westchester from USL League One. Colorado Springs Switchbacks taking on Sporting Kansas City at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Rapids take on Union Omaha 9:30 Eastern. Sacramento Republic take on Minnesota United 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, Paramount, and CBS Sports Golazo Network 2022 Open Cup final. Sacramento playing host to Minnesota. That should be very interesting. Wednesday, Red Bull New York taking on Pittsburgh Riverhounds 7:30 Eastern. Second time in a row where Red Bull are taking on the defending champions. Right, they took on Colorado last time around. This time around, they'll take on Pittsburgh. St. Louis City taking on FC Tulsa, 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, April 15th. You also have Houston Dynamo taking on El Paso, an all-Texas clash there. San Jose Earthquakes will take on Phoenix Rising at 10 p.m. Eastern. on Wednesday, April 15. The rest are all USL League One sides or MLS sides taking place, so you can take a look at all the rest of the matches there. But that's all USL Championship sides, and that's all we'll have for this episode. Guys and gals, have a great week ahead. Sending you all the best, and we'll talk soon.